What's up, everybody? I don't usually make videos from my desk here, but oh, whoops, I have something to attend to here. I'm doing this transfer of files from my various SD cards as well as hard drives and computers and whatnot, of all the pictures I've taken from my phones, cameras and whatnot, into one folder. And over the years I've collected probably a ½ terabyte worth of SD cards. I mean, I have about 30 or 40 of them, you know, anywhere from 8 to like 32 or 64 gigabytes. And it just blows my mind. Every time I think about the capacity of technology today, I think back to when I was about probably 16, 17, I don't know, 15 maybe, could have been, somewhere in there, teenager. And we were sitting down by the railroad tracks, smoking a bowl of weed, and watching the trains go by. And I remember this discussion where I said, you know, what do you think it's going to be like in the future when we look at a tape player? Because I had back then we had Walkmans. Everybody had a Walkman. Not everybody, I guess, but I usually didn't because I couldn't afford one. But nowadays, a tape player is like, I guess by saying Walkman it means nothing. I'm talking about a cassette tape player. And it was the first time we had portable music, and having that access to music was awesome. But I remember sitting down saying, it sucks to have to fast forward and rewind. And I said, what do you think it's going to be like in the future? And I remember sitting there specifically thinking about it, and I said, I bet that there's going to be either a small CD or, like a mini CD or a chip. Because they did have CDs, and just nobody had them really back then yet, in the early 90s. They were expensive still, and only certain bands had their music out on CD. And I was on the cusp of LP to tape, cassette tape. So when CDs came out, it was great, but I still knew that it was going to move forward. And I said, in the future, I believe they're going to be on these little chips or whatnot. And I pictured having this little collection of just flipping through these cards that had thousands of songs on each one. And that's exactly what I have now. I don't have a music library like I want to, but I have a picture library of all the videos and, mostly family videos and pictures. I've erased probably 95% of all the YouTube videos I've made. And people might think that I'd want to have those, backed up just in case so I could reload them. But I don't want to reload videos, I do this. I know a lot of the videos I make are kind of timeless, if you will, talking about subjects that we all, can always discuss, but I don't necessarily want to spend the time to dig through them to find one, because I'm self-critical. So if I see a video of myself, I'll be like, oh, I'm not going to upload that. I wasn't on my game, or I wasn't thinking as clearly, or something as simple as I've changed my mind. And that's a common one. That'll be common. Over the last year, I've changed my mind so much about so many things. And it just, it's amazing how much humans can change. I guess it's because I've seen the extreme sides of both, of all extremes, rather, not both, but all extremes. It's funny because there's more independents than conservatives or, Democrats combined. More people are independent thinkers, but we tend to look at things polarized. And I think that skews our view of what's really going on. I'm one human being, and it still to this day is strange for me to make a video talking to my camera, and every day, throughout the day, I sit and think, oh, I want to make a video, and I have all these ideas. And right now I have a huge list of notes that I have written out that I want to talk about. One of them, for example, is this, this whole list of opioid issues with, this drug called Seraphim, and how it was basically re-prescribed Prozac because their patent had run out there, so they re-prescribed it for women's PMDD, they call it, post-menstrual dysphoric disorder. And it's a completely bullshit fabricated, thing. But the point of bringing that in is because we are, our minds are so easily, we believe anything. The placebo effect is very strong. And so when I go through my videos from the past and I look at all the things that I once thought were true, I can get very animated about a certain thing and think, oh, this might be great. But you'll notice, even if you look back through the 3,000, 4,000 videos I have, you'll find that I'm always cautious. It's the one thing that I try to be universally consistent with, is being cautious about making claims that are extreme. And, some people hate it when folks sit on the fence. But fuck it, that's just who I am. I don't give a shit, I'm a human being. I don't owe anybody anything. I don't have to explain to a person why I'm not a conservative nor a liberal. But I understand why people want to be able to draw a line in the sand and say, okay, you believe this and I believe this. How do we work it out? Or how do we fight each other? And that's a video I'm going to be doing shortly, which is about why we're, at odds with one another over issues that really can't be they can't be resolved through partisan means. You can't just vote away these problems. They're big issues. It's not that racism just popped back up or that it never went away. It was just human beings. If you look at history and you look at who we really are, it's we don't know shit, is my point. I sit here with my camera and make a video. I can record it. I can store it. I can have all these, digital comforts in the world. I'm not a very tech kind of person, but anyhow, I've gotten quite off track here and off subject, and that's okay. I just wanted to make a video to kind of touch base and say hey, and yeah. A lot of thoughts on my mind that are very difficult to express in one video. I wish I had more, I would say more time, but that's not it. And I would say more money, and money would help, but that's not the reason why I can't focus. It's really sitting down without my kids screaming in my ear for something, and without getting distracted by, answering comments or emails, and working on, say, my book, that I've been writing. I really want to do something with it, I want to turn my channel and my efforts into something good. That's why I have the Patreon account, but I never asked for donations. I think I have 10 patrons, and I should say thank you to all of you. I really appreciate it. In the future, I'm going to be naming the patrons with their approval, to give you at least credit on the video, a shout out. The reason I haven't done that is for privacy reasons, I guess. But I do care, and I see some of these complete morons making videos and getting. I'll look on their Patreon page, and they've got 1,000, 2,000 patrons, and I think, God dang, they're making a lot of money. What are they doing with it? And when I really look, I think, wow, they can spend 100 hours on graphics for a video that really gives you no more than 5 minutes, more like a half a minute worth of information. You could pack a lot of information into a short video. I've had ones where I've taken notes and I've been like, this is the truth, this is what's going on with this particular herb or this drug or this political issue, whatever it might be, and say this is, and leave it open-ended, but cover all the basics quick and without fancy graphics and whatnot. But the thing is, we all thrive on fancy graphics. I'm no exception. I watch In a Nutshell, which is by Kierkegaard. I think that's the channel. And there's a couple other ones, that have a high production value, but really not that much information. That one actually has some good info. Bad example, maybe, but My point being that it's lonely being a philosopher on YouTube, talking about the things I talk about, wanting to do more research and put more effort into it, but saying, what's the point? You know, nobody cares. You know, not enough people give a shit about, you know, my point of view, which is fine. I don't know. You know, it's funny because that sounds arrogant. That's not what I was trying to say, but it's funny how anybody I've found who makes a YouTube channel and ends up getting popular changes their format, the way they do things. They say, now I'm doing well, now I'm up on the charts, I can start doing stuff. I've got all these subscribers. And I just realized today I'm almost at 16,000 subscribers. And that's not that much, you know, compared to millions. But, you know, what is a comparison, right? To me, that's a lot of people. And I'm surprised I have that many people watching me. And it almost makes me more wary of what I talk about sometimes. And then I say, no, dude, you can't do that. You got to be straight up. You got to be true to yourself and sit and ramble in front of the fucking camera like I'm doing right now and stick with what I do. You know, it's my thing. Some days I'm dead serious. Some days I have notes and facts, and some days I just sit and fucking bullshit like I'm doing right now. And yeah, I can say fucking bullshit because I'm one of those people who actually has the ability to say what I want. I guess that's the Patreon over advertiser advantage, because I've heard so many people spend their time talking about how many ads they're getting removed, and I'm like, dude, if you're bending over to get fucked in the ass by the corporations, you know, you get what you get, right? It is what it is. I'm sorry, I have a dry, kind of rough sense of humor, and it doesn't come across in my videos because I seem to be maybe more collected or more normal, if you will, than I am. I'm actually, I've just always had this brutally, like, dark and sick sense of humor. I just don't come across with it in my videos because that's not why I'm here. So, anyway, that's my ramble for the Sunday night, August 12th, 2018. I'm going to take off now. I was just thinking I have a Ween concert to go to next week, and then a Papadosio concert coming up in a couple months. But the Ween concert will be really interesting. I want to take some video. Those guys are some interesting fellows, and they're playing at the Edgefield for a couple nights, and I got tickets. Just popped into my head. So anyway, thank you all. You know, I'm always grateful for my subscribers. I don't take it for granted. I try to respond to as many comments as I can. I'm grateful for my patrons on Patreon. I'm grateful for everybody who leaves detailed comments that, you know, are deep and insightful. If I haven't answered a comment, I apologize. I really do try. And I wish you all well. And I'll talk to you soon. Peace.